Hey gang, Ronan here. As you can see in this game, I'm playing the Tier 10 German, what I call heavy destroyer, Elbing. This thing is huge. It's it plays very differently than the Z52, which you may or may not be familiar with. Um, when these things first came out, I have to say I was really not a fan at all. But that is primarily because I was playing them wrong. Um, I was trying to play them more like a traditional destroyer. But these things, they're just really not set up for that. They're not designed for that. So trying to use your stealth and get in close for torpedoes and contesting caps, all of those things that you think of as traditionally stealthy destroyer type jobs or tasks are just not going to work all that well, no matter how good a player you may be, because Elbing just isn't set up that way. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, we'll start with the base detection. The base is 8.26 kilometers. You can get that down considerably, but it's still not going to be anything like a more traditional stealth torpedo boat would be. And you're detected by air by 5.01 kilometers. So no matter what you do, you're going to be unspotted by pretty much anything that's classed as a destroyer. The max speed is decent, but not great at 36.2 base. You can stick a flag on that and increase it a little bit. But you got a huge turning circle of 890 meters. That is just, that is a gigantic turning circle. And the rudder shift time, base 6.3 seconds, means this is basically handles like a really big cruiser rather than a destroyer. So if you get in close and it becomes a knife fight, you can really get in trouble because everything under the sun is going to be shooting at you because this is a huge target. It's a really big ship. Putting out some torpedoes through that gap, and those really are more area denial than anything else because the torpedoes, you got 2 racks with 5 torpedoes, which you can see there, and with a 90-second reload time, and they do a decent damage. 16,533 is your base damage, mitigated by torpedo belt protection, etc. But they run at 50 knots, so if they're detected by anything, pretty much everybody can avoid them. The one chance you do have is that you catch somebody who's focused on making a push or falling back, and they're just not paying attention. And because they're so slow, even if you're detected when you throw them out, usually people kind of decide, well, he must not have thrown them by the time that they're anywhere near, and will sometimes push right into them thinking, well, no torpedoes are that slow. Now, the Sims has torpedoes that are very slow like this, but in general, torpedoes are much faster than these, so they can surprise people occasionally. So I've said all of this about this not being a capping boat, et cetera, and here I am in a cap. So what am I thinking? Well, I'm thinking, we got 2 destroyers out there on the outside edge, along with Thunderer, and it does not appear to me that I have to worry too much about the Petro because the last known position was on the other side of the island, and I do manage to get lucky and put a couple torpedoes into the side of the Thunderer. So I thought, well, I'll try and take advantage of this time and see if I can cap. I've got myself positioned to be able to move forward, get ahead just a bit, and get some cover from the island. I didn't want to push too far forward because if I am lit up, something that's where that Montana is, if I'm sitting up here a little farther, can blap me pretty well over the corner of the island. Now I'm going to go ahead and accelerate because we've got the cap secured. I don't want to sit here any longer than I have to. So now I'm thinking, well, I got to try and help over at Bravo. Our Petro, Thunderer, and Kremlin, they're doing a pretty good job of holding those guys back on the 9 and 10 line. And I know there's somebody here because my radio location indicator is telling me there's somebody here. Between me and that U-2501, there is a red ship. I'm probably going to see him. Yep, there he is right there. You can see I had HE ready, but it's not going to do much. Unfortunately, in the current iteration of submarines, they are just, if the player playing the submarine knows what they're doing, they're really overpowered. It's kind of ridiculously overpowered, really. I'm just going to press the very exciting G key and throw some barrels over the side. And maybe I get lucky. There's no way to see the submarine. Even if I had hydro, which the ship doesn't. It goes to max depth, you can't see him, so. Yeah, those torpedoes are probably a waste, but you never know. Well, there's the gearing. Now we know for sure they were, but just in case, gearing was coming around this side. I tried to get another fire going on Yamato there. Enemy Kremlin takes out our Petro. And it looks like our guys on that side, while they did an admirable job of slowing that push, I mean, you got 5 ships over there. They've got Montana, Kremlin, Petro, Kleber, and Marceau. And our Ohio just blaps the Yamato. So we've got 2 caps, but that's probably not going to last very long. I'm going to see what I can do to help secure the Bravo cap now. Now we know that there was a sub out here. We've got our Ohio, our Kremlin, and our Thunder are all falling back. So right now I'm thinking, I wonder which one of these poor battleship players is about to have their day ruined. And it looks like it's going to be the Kremlin, because the sub is literally right on top of him. Now the dev blog, the Wargaming developers blog, they've made it pretty clear that they're going to be making some significant changes to the way subs have been implemented. Our Thunderer finishes off an enemy Yoshino, and I'm so surprised right now that the Kremlin didn't get completely just obliterated by that sub. And at this point, we're looking pretty good. I mean, the bad guys are down 4 ships. They've lost Thunderer, Yamato, Yoshino, and Gearing, and we're down only to Petro. And here I get to highlight kind of what this ship's strength really is, and that is AP. Now, Kremlin's pretty tanky. And he's starting to turn this way. But against, I would say against most ships, the AP on this thing works pretty well. But, yeah, you know, all things Russian, I guess, in this game. Aim a little higher, and I think I can do some damage here. There we go. I'll just slow down here. Keep dropping some AP in. Kremlin sits so low in the water. Now there's a Petro in the cap, so I have to be really careful that I don't get myself caught out in the open with everybody on that side of the map able to shoot at me. Kremlin looks like he's going to stop him. I'll hold on to one set of these torpedoes. Yeah, I'll throw it out there now. Sometimes if you throw one set out, hold it, and throw another, they'll see the first set go by and think, okay, I'm safe, and they move on out. So what's got me detected? Very interesting. Montana looks like he plans to come right on out. So I will try to use the island here. You can see he had his guns pointed this way. That's what had me detected. It was Marcel. Now, if Montana pushes out any farther, Montana, I should be able to get guns on him, but it looks like he's changed his mind about that whole idea of coming on out here. Throw that out ahead of the Kremlin. The Montana's in trouble. Down he goes. And at this point, this game's pretty well in the bag. I mean, our Goliath is almost dead, but he's got himself where he really can't be seen, I think, at this point. Yep, Kremlin caught him. Now, do I want to square off against a Petro? Well, maybe. No, I'm going to have to deal with this Kleber. Now, his guns are nasty. Gets that reload booster going. Put out a lot of shells, so I'll accelerate forward. Gotta watch the Petro. And I did catch the Kremlin there. And there's Kleber again, and I think I can probably finish him off. But you can see he's going to put out some shells too. Petro was getting me over the island there, still is, but can't see him anymore. I know his radar is on cooldown. And the bad guys are down to 2 ships. You know, not a phenomenal game. I think decent game. Anytime I get up over 100,000 damage, I feel like I did okay, but poor Petro, he's detected from directly ahead. He has no way to see me, but I'm able to just continue to put rounds into his side. Anyhow, if you haven't tried this line, it's very different. It's a little bit more like playing a cruiser than a traditional destroyer, but it is still fun. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you very much for joining me. I really appreciate it. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.